Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz Interview Series with jazz saxophonist Shawn Maxwell on the 2024 album C8H10N402. Done with the great singer Keri Johnsrud, and that mix right there is the actual chemistry for Caffeine, which was a backbone for this album. We get into their artistic chemistry together as musicians who teamed up on this impressive release. We talk about their creative approach on this project, live shows, and so much more. It's great to catch up with Shawn. He swings on by the show again. Enjoy this interview.
It's my pleasure to always be out there covering the good music, the good jazz that's coming out. And on this particular project, Keri Johnsrud, I interviewed her. Man, I've interviewed her, I think, a few times for the show. So it's great to kind of get your input on this collaboration. So again, thank you for taking a minute out. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you.
So talk to me a little bit about this musical union. How did you two meet? How did this album kind of come about?
Well, Keri and I have known each other and been very good friends for a long time. We were trying to pinpoint when we actually met. I want to say it was the early 2000s. We were both kind of new on the scene, fresh out of college, and didn't really know a lot of people. And somehow we ended up on a band together with some other people that we were even trying to think, who was that, you know? So I've known Keri for a long time. She and I have been good friends. And we've worked in other projects together. She was the vocalist in a project I had about 10 years ago called The Alliance that had a rather weird instrumentation, larger group. And since then, we've kind of started talking about, man, we should do our own thing. And we originally were talking about doing like a more modernization of the Nancy Wilson Cannibal Adderley album because we both love that. So we started from that, and somehow we ended on this, which is like completely different.
So talk to me a little bit about what the idea, what the vision was that ultimately took form.
Well, we wanted to do a more singer meets modern instrumental jazz kind of thing. We didn't want to put out another album which is she sings lyrics, myself or the pianist takes a solo, and then she sings the lyrics again. We wanted to we're trying to do something different. So on this, we've taken my approach of composing and playing more modern jazz and being a little more angular and sometimes mixing in some odd classical music or different genres in there. And we're going for the different thing. And also, of all the tracks, I think there are only 2 or 3 that have lyrics. And a lot of the other time, we're treating her as an instrumentalist. You know, we're composing for her, and she's approaching it as if she were a saxophone or a trumpet.
So, talk to me a little bit about the title. What went into the title of the album?
Well, when we started working on this and composing together, we would get together, and like all musicians, we'd just be dragging from the night before, the day before. She'd be having a huge cup of coffee. I had a huge thing of Diet Coke or Cola, whatever it is. And we started talking about a story we wanted to tell with it. And we kind of wanted to do if you look at the song titles, it's like kind of the daily grind of things that we all encounter and go through. And we were joking because we were consuming so much caffeine, well, let's just call it Caffeine. And so we did. The title is actually the formula, the scientific formula for caffeine. So it's a little bit of a wink, and we reference that in different tracks going throughout the album where we're refueling and caffing up to make it through the day.
I just actually looked that up because I just had a feeling there was something very specific to it. So, no, that's very cool.
Thanks.
Let me ask you this. What are you ultimately hoping the listener gets from this album?
That's a great question and a hard one to put words to. But with all the albums I do, I'm trying, and Keri is with me on this as well, we're trying to share our voice that is hopefully something different from what's going on and just bring the listeners in and just go, you know what? I've not heard anything like that, or that's different, and that's cool. I don't want to sound too much like an artist when I'm saying this, but we're trying to say something and leave a mark. And I think on this one, especially if you know the story, and you mentioned you went and Googled the title, that's what we were anticipating. And I've had a lot of people tell me that. They're like, I looked that up. I had no idea. Oh, that's really cool. And then I put together, oh, that's the story, because we didn't even write it out on the liner notes or anything. We're like, we're going to tell this story and see if people get into it and go with it. So we're just hoping that people will enjoy the story and the things that are different about it.
So what are you doing for promoting the album, live shows, any of that?
We have got a lot of live shows coming up later in 2025. Scheduling problems have kept us from doing much. We did some local things in Chicago in November and December, but we're in the process of booking tours. I got nothing official that I can mention for coming up. You can always find that. It'll hopefully be solidified and on our website in the next few weeks.
Right on, Shawn. This has been great. I'm looking forward to profiling the music on the show. Thank you for taking some time out. Have a wonderful 2025.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening and tuning into another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in New York, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to Shawn for swinging on by the show. If you want to hear more Neon Jazz interviews, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us at YouTube, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to theneonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.